It's a system.
Yeah.
And my question is,
Yeah.
who's in charge of this system? Who's this system? Who's running the system, bro? We've heard this word, the system.
The system.
What's going on?
Yeah, it is all in here, in the mind. And I believe the system is a society. The system is a society because we always vote the better devil. We always vote someone out. We don't vote for the leaders that we like and the leaders that we want. And the people who are voted in replicate over the years. Because as you said, we are still fighting disease, ignorance, tribal, the same issues we are fighting since 1963. Even when we think that we voted in the people's person, they turn out to be the system.
I agree.
So power corrupts, but absolute power corrupts absolutely. So I think the system is a society, right from the voters, because the leaders are a reflection of who we are as a people. Like you saw, the MPs were bribed like 10K to vote a bill, to pass a bill, 10,000 shillings. People who get like basic salary of up to like 700K per month.
10K,
it means like we as a people of Kenya, it's not that we like easy money. Not even if someone gives you like 200 bob, so that when the public participation, you sit there and shout everyone down. You'll just go because it is easy money. Even if it is like 100 bob, like people just love easy money.
Right.
So that they can, like it is, and that is why we need the revolution of the mindset.
I agree.
Because we will only, and now, like from the clamor for change from last year, now the people have realized we'll only have a new generation of leaders when we have a new generation of voters, like people who think different.
Yeah. And we're going to get into that. Because you mentioned we need a revolution of the mind.
Yeah.
But, I also ran into a conversation about the family and fatherlessness in the country. So apparently a number of people blame fatherlessness for some of the major problems that we are seeing in the society today. Right? And according to research, in fact, the studies out there, they say fatherlessness has caused rising crime, low self-esteem amongst young Kenyans, poor school performance, social instability with causes including economic hardship, divorce, and changing social norms. Now, statistics also show a significant number of children do not actually live with their biological fathers, and studies from Kenya prisons indicate a high prevalence of inmates from fatherless homes. Now, my question is, do you think we're really in this mess as a country because of the breakdown of what the family used to be? Basically, the genesis of this breakdown we're seeing in the society is because there aren't present fathers. People don't have families. Our families are now the drugs we consume, the music we listen to.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's going on?
True. That is actually the social fabric in Kenya is broken because even leadership starts from the unit. The family unit. Even God ordained the family and the man as the head of the family, and the nuclear family are supposed to have the mother, the father. So the absence also of the father figure in the family has really contributed to or the detriment that we see now in the society. And I was raised by a single mom myself, and some of the things that I saw my mom go through, even raising, and most of the things also financial, because now kids indulge into so much because only one parent cannot afford to it's either they have time or they have the money. So you find like my mom used to hawk. She used to be a hawker. On the other side, alikuwa bado anafulia watu manguo. So she never used to be there. But now I can say that I saw the struggle. I was even afraid kufukuzwa shule because I couldn't pay school fees. My mom couldn't pay school fees. So nikifanya kitu mbaya tena naona wacha nimwonee huruma because now itakuwa like so much. But even with the people in the society that nimekuwa raised in back in Nakuru, I saw the absence of the father in people's lives. It's crazy. Like I'm taking care of a nephew of mine. The dad died in 2021, and I have been away much, and Yeah, kuna the mom. So the mom hata alinicall juzi akaniambia huyu asikia amekuwa kichwa ngumu because I've been away, like I am a father figure. So niambia kuja umuongeleshe. So I think the balance is very important because also leadership inaanzia hapo. Leadership inaanzia hapo kwa family unit. So I believe that is research based evidence that
man. Because even me personally, when I look around, and even from my own background, I notice many young men are very angry. And I feel like they don't have a channel to vent. Right? Maybe because they never had somebody to talk to.
Exactly.
And, you never know. Maybe now the person that they can vent on is government. That's the only person left. But we'll talk about that later on. However, this whole conversation of the future of Kenya belongs to, the younger folks. It's a real thing. Like you said earlier when we were starting this conversation, we're the only ones, younger Kenyans are the only ones who are going to change the way the system functions, because the system is literally us guys. But at the same time, it's perceived that only the 90% of wealthy political candidates are the ones who are guaranteed to win in elections. Now, do you think this would change anytime soon? And because clearly this system has a lot of ambitious young leaders.
Exactly.
Right? And then the other thing is kuna shida ya poverty. The people who can afford to give out handouts somehow have an edge when it comes to political conversations and campaigns. So do you think this whole thing of elections favoring the wealthy will change anytime soon?
I think that is not prone to change unless we change how we look at campaign financing. And that is by design. The people have been made poor so that the political class can buy them cheap. The young people, the motive is to make them poor so that you can buy them cheap. You can give them handouts. And money, the power, religion has been used. So over and above, it is not going to change unless we, the people of Kenya, change how we look at how do we support even the young people who want to vie. How do we support them? How do we finance them? But there's a system in Kenya whereby we also look down upon candidates who don't have money.
We don't like broke candidates.
We don't like broke candidates. Last time Maraga said he has like 2 million and people have never taken him seriously from then.
How can we take you seriously?
So we need to because if I use my own money and I saw Jalango said like he used 150 mic to campaign to be a member of parliament. And you only get like 25 million over the period of 5 years. So what else do you want? What else? Why would you use 150? You're not a good businessman.
Exactly.
It's not like you really want to save us. We don't want saviors.
And
we want leaders.
There's another way you're going to get that money back.
Exactly. So the system is designed so that we fall off. Even signing putting a petition at the High Court is very expensive.
I agree.
It's very expensive. So everything, even to some extent, even the judiciary is there so that the people who don't have money, the poor people do not get justice, quote unquote, so that justice is delayed. Even I always say the absence of evidence does not mean the crime wasn't committed. But So unless we change how we look at campaign financing, unless we change how we look at money as a society, then I don't think it's going to change anytime soon.
But I remember even there's a time when Morara was saying how, guys, we need to get into this habit of supporting other younger candidates. We campaign, we changa for them. Right? And I saw Kenyans kind of ridiculing him. But do you think that's going to be the way to go moving forward? Are we going to see candidates asking Kenyans to help them with the financing?
Yes, I believe that is the best way, because now if you ask Kenyans for the finances, then you owe the service to the people. Once you get there, you owe the service to the people. You don't owe any favors to the cartels, because in Kenya it's the other way around. You it is tokenism. Once the president is elected, then anapeana tokens. You the minister of what, and that is why this government is falling off, because now you can see literally no ministry is working. But the president anafaa to give hand back to the people who financed his campaign, to the people who donated towards his campaign. But if Kenyans donated 10 shillings, 20 shillings, 100 shillings, then they will owe their allegiance to the people. And I like the campaign financing the CORD did in 2013, but they get ridiculed for that to date. So I feel ile nye walitoa Kenyans watu even 10 shillings, 20 shillings, but they get ridiculed. I see memes of Kalonzo. Not that I support Kalonzo, but I like the idea of like the public donating for the candidate, like we do even in the US. And we need laws that, but they disregard that, because in our constitution we have the cap. The president is not supposed to use a certain money campaigning the member of parliament, but they always do not follow that.
See, the problem with that time for CORD is there wasn't any form of transparency. We don't know how much was actually collected.
Exactly.
What they actually did with that money. And so there was some sort of mistrust that was created between CORD and the people. So back to that revolutionary statement that you made earlier. Kenyans are in that state of mind right now. Especially bouncing off whatever happened last year during the June Maandamano. Moving forward, do you think we're going to stay in that state of mind even after the elections? Or let me just start with the 2027 elections. Do you think we're going to get there where Kenyans will be very serious this time and say, you know what, sweep all these guys away, let's start afresh, let's get the right guys, let's vote in the right guys, let's just start afresh. Let's vote in our younger guys from MCA, you get all the way to... Are we going to maintain that state of mind? Politically speaking, but also not just politically, socially, right? In the family, in the office spaces, in sports. Injecting is happening everywhere, in every aspect of the Kenyan experience. What do you foresee happening?
Yes, I'm very hopeful. I think we will maintain it. So it was nearly deflated by during Chan. The president used
it's sports. It's
and I was even and many a times I was caught in between the fires, because now during Chan, like, the president used football to pacify the message, because they know Kenya is a football nation. And heavily, even the young people on social media, they went into a frenzy. And if you criticize the government, they would say, stop, wacha vijana wa kule, stop mixing sports and politics. So the president thought he had it. He pacified the nation for a month or so. But we got right back, because the problems that we are dealing with, the youth bulge, unemployment, they're not going anywhere with handouts. We're giving people 5 million and what have you. It will not go anywhere until we have a systemic change, until the president honor their manifesto, because they had very good manifestos. The both sides, they had very good manifestos. I have all of them, and now that they have, the opposition is in government, one of our exchange notes will implement the manifesto. If they implement that to the letter, then Kenya will be a better place. But the people have realized that the elites don't care. So people will because initially people were afraid, because quote unquote people did not have their tribe, quote unquote, like their tribe meaning like people, the same people who speak about the same issues. The people now came together for the clamor for change. Now people are together. So now people know, if I speak, Willie will amplify, Kel will amplify, the radios, the social media. So now people were hurting all alone. Because when I started even civic education, even up to now when I do civic education inside the matatus, people do not respond the first take. But when they see someone else here responding, and then it's like a thing now. Now people have the confidence because everyone is speaking about it. And even as we do spoken word in and out of season, speaking social justice and social change, people know. Even what you're talking about here, people know.
Of course, people are
Our
aware.
idea is to keep on the conversation and to inspire hope, so that people know you will never walk alone. Not that I support Liverpool. I'm an ardent Arsenal fan. Do not get it twisted. But people, I'm very hopeful that on to 2027, the conversation will be ongoing.
Right.
Yeah.
So you mentioned opposition and of course elites. Do you think the opposition, do you think they're going to stay united until 2027? And who do you think is the right person to actually face Ruto, if not, getting out the president and starting afresh?
First and foremost, I would say Gachagua is not the right person. Yeah, Gachagua is not the right person because for the longest time, we've been voting people out. So people voted Kasongo because they didn't like the former president. They were punishing the former. So if we replicate that, we'll be taking that on and on and on.
True, yeah.
So we have very good people, Kina Maragas, the Okio Mtatas. We need people who will defend the constitution.
Yeah.
We don't need the Kina Gashaguas and Kina Kalonzos. I don't really I cannot rally behind those people. They are cut from the same cloth. Even today, let me tell you.
I feel you,
Even if Gachagua is president today, he will not go after Kina Murkomens and Kina Rutos because they know that is just a game. But we need to be radically positive. We don't need to envision only a future that is slightly good. We need to be radically positive about our future.
Correct.
And imagine a future with the likes of Kina Maragas and Kina Okias. And the problem, we've only been electing like better devils. Ruto is bad, but not very bad, so like bad. Uhuru. So let's give him the presidency. But we've never had to imagine a very radically positive leadership in Kenya, and we need to take that chance. And
do you think we're going to take that chance?
I feel we will take that
honestly?
chance. We will. And even the clarion call of Fagia Wote, it starts from the MCAs, it starts from the MPs, it starts from the MPs, women rep, until we get to the presidency. So we will not change the presidency if we don't start from our MCA and our MPs. So we need to fagia kwanza hawa watu wote and get to Kasongo. We will get there.
And it's going to lead me to my next question. Government obviously gives us bare minimum. That's what I genuinely believe, especially with regards to service delivery.
Always.
Considering the amount of taxes that we pay, bro. I mean, it's embarrassing. And no wonder many Kenyans feel like government is constantly stealing from us, right? Now, my question is, when you look at our parliamentarians, people just feel like these guys have been puppets. Considering by the another thing is that this is literally the youngest parliament in Kenya's history. Right? And do you think we're ever going to get to a point in our lives where parliament will actually be independent?
Yes, we will get there. Initially, the young people had been depoliticized. So right now we need to repoliticize our young people because people use terms like apolitical, the corporates, they don't want you to touch on anything politics. But not taking a stand is actually taking a stand. So the young people had been tied into corporate jobs, into civil society, whereby you don't, into foundations, you don't need to participate in politics, and so you need to stay civil. What is civility about having a government that is killing people and you cannot talk about it? So we need to repoliticize our people so that young people actually see we can run for office and we can participate and we can register as voters. And that is why we do what we do. So we need to we need to normalize these things. We need to campaign everywhere, even in churches.
It's true.
Yes. So I believe with now the conversation that we have started the conversation and it's going on, and then I see people even inject inside churches.
We
will get actual leaders, because even now young people are visualizing a future whereby they want to be MPs, they want to be MCAs. Yesterday I was with a lady who wants to be the MC. Initially we didn't have that. Initially we only know of quote unquote veteran politicians who we thought that we would not challenge them. So we need to do that. And also, leadership is not only the courage to the politics is not only the courage towards leadership. We also need artists. We need good managers. We need, because even with in Nairobi, we always elect politicians to be governors, and they have failed us. We need managers also.
It's true. Now, speaking of which, I watched the president, of course, in several conversations where he says, if it kind of feels like, the citizenry of this country has been a bit unfair to his regime. Yeah, we need to give him time. These things are complicated. He's inherited crazy amounts of debt. It's not like the previous regime was perfect, but it's like this one is getting more hate and bashing than the previous regimes, right? My question is, has there ever been a past regime that has actually had Kenya's interests at heart? Because you get, it's like right now, for real, you get the impression like some feel like this is just the worst government ever. But has there ever been a regime that's had Kenyans' backs?
I think the bar has always been very low that people think Kibaki was the best president.
I know, man. He's the best ever. Better than Obama.
I don't buy that because the guy disregarded the human life and human rights. So I think the bar has been very low. And as you look, like since I was young, I've always heard about the same people. So we've had different presidents, but never different governments. Because we have the same people running the same institutions, like the same systems. We've had the same people, Kina Duale, Kina Musalia Mudavadi, Kina Ruto, Kina Jirongo. We've had the same people all along.
Different governments, same people.
Same people.
Oh my God, bro.
And in 2007, Ruto and Raila were running together. So, quote unquote, Ruto wanted to be the prime minister then, word on the streets. And when allegedly Kibaki rigged, we know what happened, and Raila went into handshake and he was prime minister, and they failed off with Naruto, and we're here now. I think Ruto called Raila akamwambia, guy, tulikuwa tunapigania nini 207, we were looking for this presidency, and these Gen Z guys want us out of the president, and you know, like the small favors, like the processional way, kutolewa magari kwa barabara, the salute and everything. So, that is power. But then
remember.
Exactly. Remember. Remember where now we have it. What do you want us to do with it? We were fighting for it in 2007. Now we have it. The Gen Zs want to take it away because they knew, even Raila knew, if power is taken away from that class, the oligarchs,
they're done.
Then it will go to the hands of other people, the outsiders, quote unquote.
So, okay, what do you want to say? Real quick. Are you about to?
I want to say that in Kenya we've had different presidents, but not different governments, and the social ruling class know. Even if Kalonzo is president today, or Mudavadi, or the people, the political cousins are president, they are good. Kalonzo has been out in the cold for like now 20 years, but he's good.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, before we take a short break, listen to Shalama the second time around.
Okay.
Are we going to see you push for people to vote for a particular candidate, the right candidate, for example, during the 2027 elections? Are you going to endorse somebody?
Yes, I will do that. I will use, after I vet, after they submit their papers to the IBC, I'll look at the candidates, at their manifestos. I think one of the reasons we are where we are today is because even the influential voices want to be, quote unquote, apolitical, and they say vote responsibly, but tell us who you want us to vote in your own thinking. If you've read the manifesto, who do you have faith and belief in? Who will follow the constitution and uphold human rights and dignity? So once we have the candidates, because now we don't have the candidates, I'll look at their manifestos and I will advise the people who can hear me, this is the right candidate we have.
I love it. What issues to tackle, for example? Is it through personal experience? Is it through the headlines? Is it through basically what you can hear on the ground, the voices of the people? What motivates you to write about something specific? To even speak out of your heart, because I know sometimes you freestyle. So what's the basis of your work? Where do you get inspiration from?
I get inspiration from like what I've gone through and what I see other people go through, resonance. And I believe that is one thing the political class lack. The political class and the ruling class lacks resonance. They cannot resonate with a common human life, and the common human life in Kenya is not dignified. So I write from a point of resonance, and I hear like about what people say, and that is why I'm always in the matatus, I'm always in the markets, like my brand is always in the streets, so that I can get to hear what people say, so that there is no disconnect. Because also as an artist, and that is why when people artists go commercial, or sometimes when you like start flying out and you disconnect with the people, and once you detach and disconnect with the people, then that's it. Once I'm always like on Mombasa Road and Jogoo Road, home, studio, home. Then once I disconnect with the people, that's it. And that is the problem we have with the ruling class. They don't connect with the people. The bureaucracy around even the presidency is very bad, that people who are beside them only tell them what they want to hear. Mwesh, wewe ndio kusema, there's no one else like you, the ground is okay. And these people don't know what is really happening.
Yeah. That's interesting. So if you were to create a piece of art right now, I know your work is timeless, bro. You best believe in the next several years, people are still going to be visiting your work. Thank God for platforms like YouTube and Spotify.
Because the more things change, the more they remain the same.
You know what I mean? So if you were to write something tonight, at least like this week or whatever, something that would impact Kenyans and make us even think harder and deeper in the next 50 years, what would you write about today?
I would write about a future not our own. I would write about us being the leaders, and us being, me and you being the builder and not the master builder. I would talk about us being workers. I would talk, because we have the savior mentality, and that is one problem that we have as a country, and that is why our politics are mainly tribal, because we look for people who will save us. We look at saviors and not leaders. I will talk about the art of leadership in planting seeds that will grow into trees in places that will not necessarily take shade in. I will talk about me and you being prophets of a future not our own, that we need to pass the baton to other leaders. We need to make it better so that other people take it from us. I'll talk about the clamor for change being a long marathon and not a sprint, because even people sometimes they fall off along the way because they feel like we will not get there. But we have to remember, we are not where we used to be, but we have to we are not where we want to be, but we have to respect the fact that we are not where we used to be. 100%. So we've made progress, albeit small. Now that we can talk here, I remember the former president alikuja kasema zimeni kila kitu hapa.
Man.
How can you talk about
that was rough.
We are getting there. We are getting there.
So it's interesting.
In regards to that, I have a piece. I have an album dropping on the 12th of December. I have a gig at the Kenya National Theatre.
Good stuff.
This time I am inviting you on air.
Good stuff.
From 6 to 9 p.m. on the 12th of December.
Nice.
It's dubbed Yellow Paper Bag, because my mom used to be
I saw you
a
pushing
hawker.
that, actually.
So I'm talking about resilience, because there are people you can see even across the road and wonder, do they make any sales from what they're doing? But the fact that you see them every day selling socks, selling earphones, selling very peculiar things that you may think, but consistently they show up every day, because consistency is the only thing failure cannot keep up with. So my mom inspired me, because she used to go out and she used to come back with flour, just enough for the day. She used to come back home with sugar, just enough for the day. We didn't know about tomorrow, but the fact that she stepped outside, she came with just enough for the day. And that has kept me moving over time, even till date. And I know, even with the clamor for change, if we just continue moving as leaders, we need just small contribution in every aspect of life. We need people to inject inside the matatu. We need people to retweet. We need people to talk about it. We need leadership from every aspect of life, and consistent.
That was so powerful. What's the event called again?
Yellow Paper Bag.
Yellow Paper Bag.
So she used to carry the yellow paper bag that had a calendar, the Marlboro paper bag. And she used to tie like them together. And that symbolizes that ordinary things can carry extraordinary dreams.
Look at that.
So the tagline is, I am my mother's legacy.
Bro, so that title is so creative.
So everywhere I've been, everything I've done, she probably hajafanya hizo vitu, ama she might never like go where I've gone, but the fact that I've gone there, I am part of the legacy.
So wow. So I want to go back to that story for, how Calligraph was talking about artists going to State House in the name. I want to bounce off that. So when you look at the relationship between artists and government moving forward, do you think in future it's going to be more collaborative or continued resistance? Now, the reason I'm asking you that is, just the other day, for example, I even saw Itumbi, asking influencers and creators and to talk good things about government projects, like the housing, and was it healthcare? I can't remember which one. And because of that, they'll get some sort of compensation. Now, with that same energy, what do you foresee happening when it comes to the relationship between artists and government? Will it be more collaborative or continued resistance in the future?
You know, over time, like I said, the motive has always been keep them poor, buy them cheap. And artists should move from being ambassadors and to demanding equity in the business, equity in governance. They need to play part. Artists should not market the government. If the government moves correct, we will know. We will tell you. We will feel it. So we need to be part of the. If we do, artists should be leaders. Artists should be MPs and what they don't just need to blog about it. They need to be part of the process. They need to demand equity. Into the business. So I feel like artists over time have been used very badly to endorse Kinatano Ntena, Ben Gidai. It doesn't go anywhere because once I peg my brand with the government, anything the government does, it will come back right to me. So artists need to know the power they hold, the power of the art they hold, and they need to stand for something. They need to stand for something bigger than them. And that is why we remember the likes of Kina Bob Marley. Not that they had the biggest music, but they stood for something with what they had. Kina Muhammad Ali.
So, you know, you mentioned earlier how we have to give credit where it's due. We're not where we're not where we want to be. But we're
not where we used to be.
Exactly. So, are you hopeful for the future when it comes to Kenyan youth?
I'm very hopeful. I'm very hopeful. Even if it feels like the more things change, the more it remains the same, because that is the societal problem. Sometimes it's very hot. Sometimes the youth are very cold. But the fact that we went to the street and people, it was like a universal suffrage, and people could really feel it, and people could. Like we came together. That was the biggest win, because when we started Arts for Social Change back in 2017, guys were telling us stop politicizing arts. Stop. Why are you mixing arts and politics? And now people are talking about the social issues in their songs. People are in interviews. Artists cannot shy away from talking about them. That is very bold. So we will get there, and we are getting there. We need to normalize the conversation.
As much as you're hopeful, there has to be things that worry you, though.
There, very many things worry me. Like the way, like what you just said, governments take advantage of young people, and because people are disenfranchised. And there's a line of mine nasema gavai wakia gavani kulipa vijana kutweet vile gavai na wag. So because you find now propaganda is actually now the clamor for change and human rights has gone to digital rights, and people are activating online. And the more that we are advancing digitally, also it is creating inequality, because also some people are left behind. Now we have the AIs and everything, and also the government is using that as one big propaganda machinery, and they have bloggers and people that we think quote unquote are part of the clamor for change, people quote unquote in the movement. They are using them to push propaganda, and sometimes they can really deflate the movement, because people are rallying behind people, and that is what I'm telling. I'm really worried when people rally behind other people and looking at other people like saviors, and that is why we always have conversations like Morara betrayed us, now I'm not going to the streets, other people are getting paid, Kasmol betrayed us. It's not supposed to be like that. We are supposed to rally behind a cause, because and even if we are upholding and applauding people, even if I get applauded for amplifying, don't applaud me. Applaud the act of service, because I can change, but the act of service can never change.
I love that.
So it worries me every time when we look for saviors rather than leaders.
I love that, man. Jesus. We cannot personalize this process. And when finally, your personal vision, when people look back at Willie Oeba's legacy, how do you think you'd like to be remembered?
One who inspired a generation of activists who would use their art for social change.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, because it is not lucrative to do arts for social change.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're hot for the government, always hot for the corporates, and sometimes even hot for the non-governmental organizations. Mm-hmm. So once we normalize the conversations and the artists can write for social change and can use their pen, because if we stop writing, then what happens to people who cannot hold the pen? Yeah. And they know art is power. Yeah. I always say art is power, soft power.
I love it.
And when you have power, you have to know how to move with it, because people think you wield more than you do. So artists need to use the gift of gab, the power of their pen, to write on social change and to inspire other artists to normalize like we've normalized the genres like gengetone and urban tone. We need to normalize the conversations around social justice and social change. And I would want to be remembered as that one artist who inspired a generation of activists. I want to be a role model. People can see, other people who do arts for social change can see. So Willie can pull an event and he can speak his mind. He can pull an event. It can be totally sold out. He can get a brand ambassadorship deal. He can go to New York and come back and still speak about the same issues and not be bribed or bought off by the government. Just stand on business and also be successful as in that, because we always like just lack trailblazers and people that we can look up to. But if we get the mentors and mentor other artists, then it can go a long way. And that is why I have an initiative dubbed Easy Academy, where I work with artists. I teach them about branding, creating a community. We sell merchandise, we kick shows, and the conversation goes on then.
Awesome. Dude, before I let you go, man, are you going to drop a piece for us?
Yeah.
You know that was the energy.
That's the energy. Always.
Sasa, man. Kazi. We're live right now.
We're live right now.
The one, the only, the legend, Willie Oeba. Twende Kazi, my guy.
Nice. So Katikati is dropping tomorrow on my YouTube channel at 10 a.m.
Good stuff.
Na pesa ipatikani kama witness wa ICC. Pesa ipatikani kama nywele kwa kichwa ya cabinet secretary wa ICT. Trappings of power ndio zina excite hour. Vitu kama chase gas ndio zina fascinate kina Opio yule Wandae. So dear Mr. President, wewe ulitafuta kura na ukapata. Sisi tulipata rais, lakini bado tunazidi kulipa ushuru. Kwa nchi mwananchi analipa standing charges ndio MP apate sitting allowance. Kwa nchi hakuna kazi, ma youth kila mahali mejiandika kama floss in mawano. Well, do you know the leaders of tomorrow are dying today? Ni guts tu hakuna, but everyone has something to say. Manifesto hope hazina, wa mothers have resorted to pray. Na watoto wa CBC nani atawafunza hiyo tumechoka. Even Rihanna doesn't want you to stay. When youth depressed, una kazi na serikali napea kazi wenye unafaa wao retirement. So mbona una tense na hata mood ya worry? Hakuna pesa ya kulipwa peanuts. Siku hizi kila mtu anauza njugu. Hao viongozi si wenzetu, wakati wa kura ndio atakumbuka kutuita mandugu. Na serikali ingekuwa inajali what we say, then parliament ingekuwa na headphones na sio speaker. Mchana wanalala kwa bunge na usiku wanataka night allowance, ndio maana wanaita payslip. So during reign ya Zakayo, the middle class amekuwa one bullet away from being a hashtag. Talk is cheap. Fortunately, citizens cannot buy that because wako $1 away from the poverty line. IBC ndio kuna price tag. Our moms wako one demolition away from kulala njaa tu kulala nje. Huyo makanga ako one police stop away from kulose another finje. And every step of governance is a step away from humility. There's nothing to smile about when I know I am one stray bullet away from being a statistic. Na degree ni makaratasi tu. Now to put food on my mama's table through poetry, I have to be sarcastic. Nasema Kenya, life ni short na siongelei kinyasa. Na akaunti ya mwananchi ni empty kama akili ya mwanasiasa. The president is talented in the art ya contempt of court. The law is very clear. His conscience is not. Sijuzi muliona. Small fish akibreak the law anakujiwa. Lakini big fish akibreak the law, Nurdin Haji.
Haji. Ladies and gentlemen, Willie Oeba.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You guys, thanks for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're a real one.